Hello guys, how are you? I'm hoping you and your family are in good health and living very enjoyable life. I'm praying for you and remain in good health throughout your entire life. Guys, without further delay in this video, let's start with today's topic. So, in the previous video, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to start a React series. And in previous video, I explained the history of React, the JSX concept, the virtual DOM concept in React, why there was a need to develop the React application at that time and who developed the React application. And if you didn't watch my last video, go watch that last video because that video contained all the basic stuff you need to know about before starting and diving into the React. So today, in the second chapter of this series, uh, we will start with the basic concepts in React, and I'll try to explain the folder structure of React. How does the folder structure represent, and the meaning of different files in the React. So let's go to the folder structure. So the most and important, the heart of any React application or any JavaScript npm application is this package.json file. And you might be asking why this file is most important and why this file is so important, because this file holds the important data of your project, like your project name, your project versioning, whether your project is public or private, what are the development dependency your project is having, what are the libraries your project is using. All all those information is held by this package.json file, and this package log.json. So now you might be asking, we have package.json, why do we need package.log.json? Why there was a need? So let's say you are using another package. For example, developing my application. I'm using React might be having its own development dependency as well, like React is internally using webpack. It has its own dependency, which is webpack. So all those information is held by package log.json. So this file is not as important as package.json file. Every project should have a package.json file, but package.log.json can be built at the runtime of your application. It will be automatically built up at that time. Here we got the git ignore file. So if you know about the git, this file contain the information, whatever the file structure, folder structure you want to ignore to commit, and not want to made those changes into your remote repository of git. Here we got the readme.md. So this is also the file related to the application of your project, whether you want to explain about your application, how does your application work, fully depends on you. uh, all the liberty is in your hand, whether you want or you not want, all depend on you. So we can say this is not as important as these files, but yeah, if you are a professional developer and you want to be a professional developer, then these files are also important for you, because these are git. Let's talk about git ignore file. The git ignore file give you power to decide which file your project, your remote repository should be having. Like if you're working with some important data, maybe some important API keys, then this git ignore can be very helpful for you. So by mistake you don't commit those important file to the remote repository, because if your remote repository public, then everybody will be able to see whatever changes your remote repository will be having. And about the readme.md file, so you in this file you can write similar kind of a code like HTML. You can style the content inside this readme.nba file, so the person who is reading, who is understanding the in and out about your project, can be easily understand, because user can easily understand what is seeing on the screen. So yes, now let's dive into the here we got the node modules. So if you are coming at this point and started learning React, then node modules are the packages, the external packages which you are using in project. All these packages are held by node module folder. In the public folder we got the index.html. Index.html is that single file which will be which will holding and the React will be implementing its changes inside this index.html. Whatever the updated the DOM update will be having in your project, React will implement all those changes in only in index.html file. That's why this is called a single page application, because everything will be handled in this only single file. We got the manifest.json. So this file is also one of the file which will be holding the metadata of your application, the name, the short name of your application, whatever the icon you are using for your application, and this source file. This source file is one of the most important file, because whatever whenever you start your react application just by hitting npm run start, then the React will try to find the index file in this source application, inside this inside this source folder. Now let me explain about this folder. So now let me explain about these commands which you are able to see on the screen. The first one, this will start your application. The second one, this will build the static JavaScript file, the static the code for your application. This will start the test cases. So I might or might not explain the test cases in this series, but well, it depends. I will see in the next. Last command, eject. It is not as important as the other three command. uh, I myself didn't use this command frequently, so this is a beginner friendly course, so I'll not go deep into this eject command. And let's try to write our first application. So whenever you start any programming journey, you should start with the hello world. We'll also start the similar kind of a thing. So I'll try to follow as professional as professionalism as possible. So if you're building any application, your folder structure is the most and one of the most important aspect of your project, because if this project is in the future you used or referenced by other developer, then he or she should be able to understand your project easily. So I'll create the component folder which will be holding all our component, and you can also create this sub folder inside that component depending on the difference between the components. So I'll create here. I'll just clean up all this. Inside this component I'll create a hello world component. So we will be using the functional component because it is recommended by React as well, but I'll explain the class component as well to you. But for this video I'll just simply go with the simple component creation and displaying on the screen. So the props inside this function are the parameter which you will be passing in it. So let me So earlier, as I was explaining, that the concept about JSX. So what does JSX having? JSX is very close to HTML syntax. So if you know the HTML syntax, then writing code inside React is not that difficult. It is just a, you just need a lot of practice be prof to be proficient in React. You just need to do practice, 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 and you will be able to easily understand and implement the concept in React. So we need to export our component, and inside the app we need to import our component. So we will call our component as this. This is the way how which this is the way by which we will call the component inside our React application. And now let me explain about the index.js. So we are importing the application component here, and we are creating the root over the this tag inside our index.html file, and we are rendering our application inside this root tag. And let me start our application now. So as you're seeing, we develop our React application, and you are able to see the hello world. And you might be seeing like what a boring UI we are having. And let me style this UI for you as well. And go to the hello world component. We can just simply style this. So currently I'm using the inline style, but in the future I'll explain to you the external style as well in the React. So now let's see how our component is looking like now. So this is our component looking like now. You can do anything using the React, and everything will be handled inside the React application. So guys, this is it for the video. We'll meet in the next video, and from the next video I'll start with the actual React, the development in React. First we will start with the explanation about the class component, and then we will go forward with the functional component as well. And as I explained earlier, in this React series we will be working with the functional component, because it is also recommended by the React developer as well to use functional component instead of class component. So we will be working with it, but alas, I will explain to your class component as well, so you will be able to understand the React lifecycle. Because in the class component we got the lifecycle method. By explaining those, you might be and will be able to understand those concepts easily, is if just directly going toward the functional component in React. So thank you guys, we will meet in the next video.